Here are the tests on my 1968 Kohler Bolton. It is set to the water line and it is using a standard flapper. So I will give this toilet a flush and then let's see how it does on tests. I'm unsure of their reasoning behind making a model with such an enormous tank. I can understand why they made the tank so big on the Cayuga, because it has to send all that water out the back instead of through the floor, but they made the Wellworth use 5 gallons, and I don't see any special features with this Bolton, so I am not exactly sure why it uses so much water, but hopefully that means it will be a better toilet than a lot of them. I can fit just about my whole hand in that trapway opening. It's really, really wide and really deep, so it should have amazing performance. And the flush is long enough that the bowl clearance should be amazing too. So for the first test, let's see if it can take a washcloth. Did perfectly, as expected. Now, let's see if it can take a grocery bag. Again, it's got like 6 gallons of water behind it or something like that, so it should do perfectly. Did perfectly, as expected. Now, let's see if it can take the washcloth and the grocery bag together. It should do perfectly. I've seen toilets that use less water do perfectly, so it should have no trouble. It did perfectly. That's impressive. Now, let's see if it can take a dish towel. I know most toilets can't pass this, but I know at least a couple toilets that I've tested have passed it, and all of them have used less water. So, with 6 gallons behind it, it should do fine. Or not. I said should, not will. So, yeah. I'm going to go ahead, let that fill up, and give it another flush. By the time it fills up all the way, it might be dark out. That definitely clogged, and the reason it didn't overflow is because a lot of water goes through the priming jets, and the dish towel was stuck at the opening so the priming jets were not blocked. Let's try that dish towel again. I know that BTR Plumbing's Project Source Pro Flush Eco took it in 2 flushes, and that was without pulling it out, so let's see if it can pass. That did awesome. It must have just not gone down the right way the first time. I've seen some toilets do that, where I'll put it in once and it'll hard clog, and then I'll put it in again and it will pass with flying colors. Overall, I would say the performance on this toilet is excellent. I don't know that I've seen many that can do this well, but also those toilets don't use quite as much water, so that also could be a reason. But anyway, now let's move on to the flush tests, with the first one being a dry bowl test. This toilet siphons for a very long time after the bowl drains, so I'm guessing that it will do just fine without any water in it. That was about the best dry bowl test I've ever seen. It even siphoned before the flapper closed. That's pretty good. For the final test, let's see how it does with dirt. Some people say that concealed siphon jet toilets don't do very well with bowl clearance, but however much water this thing has, it should do just fine. My Highline water guard did really well too, so I'm expecting it to do great. Okay, with that long of a flush and that long of a siphon and this much water, it should have done perfect. Look at that. I'm gonna wait for that to settle to see how much is still left in the bottom. But as far as the bowl rinse goes, again, it could have done better. It's kind of sad. I've seen better bowl rinse on low consumption toilets. This is really depressing, actually. I was expecting a lot better. I'm not even a huge fan of these toilets, and I thought it would do well, but it didn't. So I'm going to go ahead, adjust the focus here, and I'm going to give that another flush once the tank fills up and see if it can redeem itself. Wow, okay, so it still left some. I guess I will have to spray it out. There, it passed perfectly. Great job, Kohler, Bolton. Yeah, so the bowl clearance is not impressive at all. I was expecting a lot better. But again, I have seen other toilets do worse, and I'm sure this would do just fine on normal use since nobody poops out sand. But anyway, that is all for these tests. If you enjoy my videos, please subscribe and turn on notifications. It helps my channel a lot and I really appreciate it. Thanks for watching, and see you guys in the next video. And before I go, just to clarify, I did not actually use sand, I just used regular dirt.